Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. It's morning where I am. My name is Miketa Valletta, also known as the Body Scientist, and I am live right now on my IG page. I will save this and repost it to my YouTube, so make sure you follow me in both places. In case you're unfamiliar with me, I should put my glasses on, but in case you're unfamiliar with me, I have a background in exercise and sports science and nutrition science. And I'm a strength and conditioning coach, sports nutritionist, yada, yada, yada. Okay. I just want to have a quick talk, okay, about program design and stacking exercises to get into your best shape, right? So, as a trainer, a lot of people, forget about saying as a trainer. I'm just going to say, in general, I feel like a lot of people, especially I could say Americans, feel like going to the gym is all you need to do, right? And that if you go to the gym a few times a week, you're good. And I strongly believe that strenuous activity needs to be incorporated into our daily life, okay? Like, going to the gym is good, and you should do that, yes, especially to strength train. I wouldn't go to the gym to run on the treadmill or walk or use one of those machines, but if you're going to the strength train, yes. But in addition to that, you should be doing strenuous exercise on a regular basis. Now, in America, people drive so much, okay? New York City is unique in the sense that it's very walkable, and New Yorkers walk a lot. Even if New Yorkers have cars, we still walk more than most Americans. We don't have drive-through Starbucks and drive-through ATMs and drive-through drugstore. We have to get out the car at least, okay, and take some steps. Now, I see people in other parts of the country who they think that like working out is like a workout, like they did something. They're like, oh, I walked today. Like, as a New Yorker, we don't look at walking as a workout. Walking is just what you're supposed to do. It's just what you do every day. You know what I'm saying? Your legs carry you around your entire life. And so for me, it's important to live in a walkable city. But in a place like New York, you could be, and I did a video about this before, about living a healthy, active lifestyle in New York. But not only are you walking around, but you're walking up and down lots of stairs, because if you're taking the subway, you have several stairs you're walking up and down every day. Some people live in a walk-up apartment building where they have to walk up 3 flights every time they come home. And then you're carrying things around, Imagine, people who drive in their car all day. You go to the store, you accumulate things, you put them in your car. When you're walking around all day, you have to carry that stuff around, okay? And so even if it's not that heavy, it becomes heavier as the day goes on, especially as a woman. But unless you're walking up hills, like if you're walking up hills, that's a workout. You could be, like if you live in San Francisco or you're walking in Pittsburgh or something, and you're walking up steep, strenuous hills, then that could be considered a workout. And when I go places like in Colombia, in Cuba, where it's very hilly, and you have elderly people walking up these hills on a daily basis because they have no choice, okay? So being able to walk distances and being able to walk up hills is important for survival because our legs carry us around our entire life. Sometimes you might need to walk your way up out of a place, okay? Like on 9/11 in New York, there are people who had to walk miles home that day, okay? A lot of Americans couldn't do that. Walking on flat land is nothing, okay? But if you're walking up hills, you're going to incorporate your glutes and your hamstrings and stuff like that. So one of the things I want to talk about is exercise stacking. One thing I like to do to really challenge myself, and all of us can have times where we have to break plateaus, right? Or your body gets used to something because our bodies adapt. So whatever it is that we do, our bodies get used to it. So then it's difficult for that same exercise to elicit change in our body, okay? And this is one of the great challenges about training athletes is that the more in shape somebody is, the harder it is to get improvements, right? So you really have to up the ante, right? And so even with a regular person, like let's say you have people who've been doing African dance all their life, which is very high impact, really works your aerobic, capacity. But if somebody's been doing that their entire life, they could be very much overweight now and chubby. And somebody's like, well, they're always doing that. Like, why are they like that? And it's because the body adapts and you have to up the ante, okay? That person has to intensify what they're doing. Maybe add things that they haven't done before. So an example of what I like to do, like in the wintertime, I ice skate a lot in Chicago because ice skating is one of the best workouts. It's absolutely underrated, okay? It's way better than jogging. Riding bikes is good, but ice skating is even better, okay? And, you know, it works every single muscle in your lower extremities, your shins, the bottom of your feet, the glute muscles you never work, the gluteus minimus and medius, which are, people really barely ever work the gluteus minimus. We have the gluteus maximus, medius, and minimus. It's 3 glute muscles, right? You work your core seriously, your lower back, which is also part of your core. You know, all of that, hamstrings, right? And then it trains your stabilizing muscles, right? So your muscles are contracting the way to stabilize your knee and to stabilize you. So that then translates into real life. You're walking on ice or something slippery in real life. You'll be much better able to control yourself and balance, right? And that's important as we age, okay? A lot of older people slip and fall, or they just fall. You know, you don't want to be doing that. You want to have good balance. Having good balance is also a part of being in shape. There's plenty of times I trip on something and people think I'm going to fall, but I catch my balance, okay? So one of the things that I like to do, and I'm getting back into because I didn't ice skate last winter, but I'll go to the gym and do an intense leg workout, like, you know, squats and lunges and deadlifts and maybe some hip thrusts. And then I'll go to the track, to the skating rink. And the ice skating rink I go to in Chicago is like a 400-meter track, okay? It's called the Maggie Daly Rink. It's like a 400-meter track, but it goes uphill in 2 places. And ice skating uphill is freaking strenuous. As soon as you go up this hill and you make it over and you're freaking out of breath and you're coming down the hill, it's time to go back up again. And your legs literally feel like they're going to fall off, okay? But then you have to somehow, you know, deal with that burning so your legs don't give out on you, right? Which then the breath becomes extremely important. People talk about yoga all the time. I think yoga is overrated. I think it has its place, okay? Like, it has its place, like it's a good warm-up before a pole class, or it's good for, like, an elderly person like my mother because she can really focus on her breathing and, you know, that. But with dance, you know, and playing sports and doing strenuous activities, you should also be focusing on your breath. That's not unique to yoga, okay? Because when you're doing something strenuous, the only way you can get through that strenuous activity is if you know how to breathe properly. And the way that you breathe when you're lifting weights is totally different than how you breathe when you're just carrying something. Like, you know, you see the strongman competition, and you might see somebody carrying like a 200-pound, you know, crate across the field. And those men, they're husky men, and it's just pure strength. When you're doing that and you're just holding on to this heavy thing, right? You're just holding on to this heavy thing. What you need to be doing consistently is consistently breathing during that time, or else you will give out much sooner, okay? That's true when you're lifting weights. That's true when you're doing anything strenuous. The breath is important. And so you don't need yoga to teach you that. Yoga, you're sitting in a pose being stagnant. That doesn't translate to real life, okay? In real life, you're moving, you're doing things, you're picking up things, you're strenuous activity, okay? Yoga will put you to sleep, okay, and maybe make you weak, okay? It's not something that makes you stronger. It's not something that increases your bone density. It's not something that increases your muscle thickness or strength or muscle hypertrophy. And as we age, we're losing muscle, you know, and you could be losing bone density. So you want to engage in strength, weight-bearing activities, okay? Strength training is the most important thing for every age, okay? But especially as someone is aging. You want to get your testosterone levels up as well, right? And this is for men and women. Not only does testosterone fuel the sex drive, but it also is responsible for fat burning and a whole bunch of other things. And testosterone is just as important. Oh, you know, I don't have my book with me. But testosterone is just as important in women as it is in men. Okay? So anyhow, what I'll do this intense leg workout, and then I'll go ice skate, you know, for a few miles. Okay? And then there are days when... But I usually would not go ice skating first and then go lift weights, because what happens is it makes it'll make your legs way too tired, so then when you go do a leg workout, you are not able to squat as heavy, you're not able to go as heavy, right? But that's another method that can be used of pre-fatiguing your muscles before you lift weights. Now, you don't really want to do that too often, because when you're lifting weights, you really want to get the max that you can get out of it. In order to get the max gains of strength and stuff like that, You really don't want to be lifting weights in a pre-fatigue state. But it's okay to do sometimes because, again, it gives you another challenge, okay? Another challenge. But you have to wait till you're in a certain level of conditioning to do that, all right? So you don't injure yourself. But stacking exercises like that. When being in New York or the Bay Area, where there's a plethora of dance classes from the African diaspora, tons of Haitian dance classes, Afro-Cuban, Afro-Brazilian, Congolese, West African, I don't do West African, but, just like a plethora of those. There are plenty of times, okay, in my life, and I'm trying to get back to this because it's time consuming and it costs money, but I would go to 2 classes in a row. Like, I'll go to Afro-Brazilian class and a Haitian class. So that's 6 hours of intense dancing because Afro-Brazilian is super strenuous. Haitian folklore, I'm not talking about compa. I'm talking about Haitian folklore. It's like going to basketball practice, okay? Or doing Afro-Cuban and just stacking those, okay? Or maybe I'll go to the gym and then go to that dance class, okay? So I'm layering layering strenuous exercises, all right? And doing whole body stuff like pushing sleds, okay? Pushing a sled and flipping tires. Those things translate into real life activity. Even as someone gets older, there are times you have to push things and you don't want to blow your back out because you're pushing something and you have bad technique and you haven't developed those muscles and you haven't developed that chain of movement, right? So, stacking things like that. Just like some people go to the gym and lift weights and then they get on the cardio machine. I don't believe in those cardio machines in the gym at all. And if I see a trainer put somebody on those machines, I lose respect for them. Because you really need to do real activity. Somebody can run for 3 miles on the treadmill. And they can't do a mile outside, okay? And running miles is not that important anyway, okay? What's more important is sprinting and doing power activities. And you can't sprint on a treadmill. Because the way that the treadmill is moving, it doesn't mimic real life and how your muscles fire in real life. In real life, the ground is stable. Okay, so on a treadmill, the ground's moving, and you're really just trying not to fall off of it, right? You're not pushing off your muscles to propel yourself forward, right? When you're running on a ground that is flat, that's not flat, that is stationary. Okay, this ground is not moving. When you're running, you're propelling off your legs to push, yourself forward. So your muscles are contracting in a totally different way than when you're doing this on the treadmill, trying not to fall off of it. You're not pushing yourself forward, okay? So to a physicist, if someone running on a treadmill is doing no work because they're not going anywhere. They stay on the same place, okay? So a physicist would say that person is doing no work. But to a physiologist, they would say that person is doing some work because they are getting their heart rate up and they are burning some calories and using some energy, but it's nowhere near as efficient as if that person went outside and just ran for real, okay? And it doesn't translate, okay? I'm a strength and conditioning coach. Strength and conditioning is about doing exercises in the gym that then translate into real life, okay? So it translates into physical performance because strength and conditioning is about increasing performance and decreasing injury. It's not bodybuilding. It's not about, let me get super cut up and then pose and pose and pose. No, it's about what can you do? Do you have hops? Do you have agility? Okay, if a dog jumps over this fence right now, can you take off and jump over some shit? You know what I'm saying? Do you have good knees? Can you jump? Because I'll jump right on top of a fucking truck if I have to, if a dog was after me, okay? So can you do those things? That is what being in shape is. It's not just about a look. You have people who are all cut up, that their whole bodybuilding thing, they have a bad back, they got a bad shoulder, they got bad knees, but you posing. But when it comes down to it, somebody can slap you and run away, and, you won't even be able to do anything. You can't jump. You don't got no agility to change directions. You have no athleticism, okay? I strongly believe everybody should train like an athlete. And training like an athlete is training for performance. But you want to have the right rest and recovery. You want to have the right nutrition, because nutrition plays a huge role, and not in the sense of, that person works out hard so they can eat whatever they want. No, okay? It is about the fact that when you work out hard, your body requires nutrients. Like, people even talk about not eating too late, right? Last night, I went to a strenuous Haitian dance class on the south side of Chicago. And it was my plan to go ice skating after that, but I was just way too done because I went ice skating the night before and did a strenuous leg workout. And I didn't eat much yesterday. Okay. So when I came in, it was a bit late and I was freaking starving. Okay. So I made a grass-fed burger, sauteed some mushrooms and some onions, and put some good cheddar cheese on it and some bacon, lettuce and tomato. And it was amazing. And it was late, but I was like, I am so hungry. Like, drinking yogurt or something is not going to do it. I really hadn't eaten much that day. And when I think about the amount of activity I did, the food has to matter, because in order for your body to recover properly, in order for your body to to build up stronger, because when you work out strenuously, your body builds back stronger than it was. But in order for that to happen, you need the right nutrition, okay? They go hand in hand. And then hydration, okay? In order to get through the workouts, okay? And if you want to do all the strenuous stuff, in order to get through it, you have to be hydrated. And hydration does not, listen to me, it does not come from drinking water, okay? No. In order to be hydrated, and I've done videos on this, you can check out my videos. I've done a couple videos on hydration. But hydration is about blood sugar levels, potassium, and sodium balance, okay? It's not about water. And consistently drinking water can actually dehydrate you, okay? There's been a few people this year that have died from dehydration from drinking too much water, okay? That can happen because it's about electrolytes and blood sugar levels, okay? So if you're working out and you're feeling lightheaded or you start feeling dizzy, that's a sign that your blood sugar levels are low. So sipping on water when you're working out does nothing but give you stomach aches, okay? Because you can't absorb that. So the water just sits in your stomach and it bounces around. I remember when I was in high school, I was a basketball player in high school. And they were always telling us, drink water, drink water, drink water, drink water. And nobody wanted to drink water because then you got cramps, right? And the reason is because water does not hydrate you, okay? If you're in a state of dehydration, water will not hydrate you. If you pass out from dehydration, and they take you to the hospital, they don't give you water, okay? And a good coach, and this is the problem too, a lot of sports coaches, they're not sports nutritionists, they don't have that background, they don't understand certain things about hydration, and you've had certain athletes who work themselves to death, okay? An experienced trainer, somebody that has the knowledge of sports nutrition, an experienced exercise physiologist, somebody that has that background, they can see that before that happens. They can see that before you die from a heat stroke. There are signs, okay? But there are coaches who just, a coach's job really is just to teach you the plays of the game, the technique of the game. They may not have a sports nutrition background. They may not understand anything about that. So they're pushing you. Or not you, or this athlete. They're pushing this athlete, and this athlete is clearly showing signs of severe dehydration, okay? Low blood sugar levels, all right? If at any time in life, you don't have to be exercising. You could be walking around on a sunny day, and you start feeling lightheaded, like you're going to faint. Your blood sugar levels are low, and water is not what is going to help. Water will make it worse. You need something with electrolytes. That's the reason why you do not see athletes, you don't see water companies sponsoring sports, okay? You see Gatorade, which Gatorade is garbage, but if you had a choice between Gatorade and water, okay, and you were performing at a high level or about to faint because your blood sugar levels were low, you want to choose Gatorade, okay, even though it's bad. If you only had those two choices, because even though Gatorade is full of freaking cancer-causing chemicals, it does have some carbohydrates to revive you in that case, okay? Because nobody's trying to black out. But yeah, so basically, when you're stacking exercises, you want to make sure that you're fueled properly, okay? Because that's basically what a sports nutritionist does. What we do is it's the timing of meals. It's the composition and the timing of meals, okay? And because if you're performing at a high level, you can't, when it's time to compete, you can't be like, oh, I feel lightheaded because I haven't eaten enough, or I'm dizzy because I haven't eaten enough, or I'm too full. Or my stomach is messed up. I have stomach cramps and digestive problems right now. Or you didn't eat enough, protein earlier. Or you didn't have enough carbohydrates. So it's about the macronutrients, the protein, fat, carbohydrates. A lot of times the focus is so much on protein and carbohydrates in sports nutrition. But the ratio of your micronutrients and the timing of it, okay? Making sure you're properly hydrated. Making sure that you were, after strenuous activity, you want to replenish your muscle glycogen. when you're exercising, our body uses glucose first. Our muscles, okay, use glucose, which are blood glucose. The glucose is circling around in our system, in our blood. That's what our muscles utilize first. Once that's depleted, then our body taps into our muscle glycogen, which is the glucose that's stored in our muscles. In our muscles, it's stored as glycogen. But you need to replace that, so that if you want to go hard again tomorrow and the day after that, you have to replace that glycogen after you exercise, after that strenuous activity. And you do that by consuming something with carbohydrates, and your body will replenish that muscle glycogen. And that muscle glycogen is connected to hydration, because in order to store water in our muscles, we need glucose, we need sugar, okay? So this is the reason why bodybuilders, who I'm totally anti-bodybuilding, that is not a sport, okay? It's unhealthy, nothing healthy about it, and nothing athletic about it, okay? But in that little pose activity called bodybuilding, they go on these very low-carb diets before they compete. And the reason why they do that is to starve their muscles out, so their muscles can look super shredded and get the water out their muscles, okay? Because you need carbohydrates to store water in the muscles. So if that person goes on a super limited low carbohydrate diet for a certain amount of time period before they compete, now they look super cut up and shredded. But it's not healthy. And they don't look like that all the time. They look like that for competition. They get on stage, they pose, and then they get off and blow back up into a chubby person, okay? So bodybuilders manipulate nutrition in that way for a look, but there's nothing healthy about it. And if you notice, if you just pay attention, a lot of bodybuilders die young, okay? I remember I said this one time in a conversation, and this female bodybuilder got mad at me, and I'm not apologizing. I mean what I said, that bodybuilders are unhealthy, and they often die young. They don't live a long life, a lot of them, okay? So understanding hydration, understanding how to fuel properly, and then go hard, okay? Go hard. You have to go even when you don't want to, okay? I was tired last night, but I made myself go, okay, to this class. And I felt so much better after. And the thing that I love about Dances of the African Diaspora is that dancing, I've done a lot of videos talking about dance, right? Like playing sports is great, playing basketball, playing volleyball, all of that stuff. But when you're dancing, you have to keep a technique, okay? So if you're extending a certain way, or you're moving your shoulders a certain way, or you're kicking your leg out a certain way, you have to maintain that even when you feel like you're about to die. You can't get sloppy. When you're playing sports, you don't have to be like, oh, let me do the perfect layup all the way to my fingertip on this certain beat, okay? Let me dribble on this beat, dribble, shoot, dribble, pass. You know what I'm saying? And it has to be a certain timing and has to look a certain way aesthetically, and you have to keep it, follow through, make it look perfect and neat the whole time. That's dance, okay? Sports is not like that. Unless you're a synchronized swimmer, a gymnast, or a figure skater, it's not. You don't have to be all pretty and perfect, right? But dancing, you do. You have to maintain this technique, okay, while you're doing something that's very strenuous. And so it's a good conditioning activity. And then when you have live music and live drums, okay, it gives you energy. Like, music can also fuel your workouts, you know what I'm saying? Like having live drums, but even I like to work out to hip-hop, you know what I'm saying? Like good hip-hop songs in my song to get you hyped up. All those things help in getting the most out of you, and that's what you want to do. You always want to go hard when you work out. Doing little play workouts, taking a little walk around 5 blocks on flat land, that's nothing. That's nothing, okay? But it's critically important to try to incorporate strenuous activity into your work, into your life every day. But stacking things. Don't think, oh, I went to the gym today, I'm done, I don't need to do anything else. No. Stack them. Are you a cyclist? Go to the gym and then go ride your bike. Or ride your bike to the gym, work out, and then ride your bike back. And ride up some hills, okay? Go lift weights and then go ice skate. Go lift weights and then go to a strenuous dance class. Go to 2 dance classes in a row, 6 hours of dancing. Go climb up a pole, okay? I used to go to a pole class and then go to the gym, okay? And now you have to understand how to, program design the order in which you do things, because whatever is going to be either the most strenuous or dangerous, okay, you want to do that first. So that's what I said about pre-fatiguing your muscles before you lift weights is not a good idea unless you're in really good shape. And you have to also understand that you'll be doing less with the weights. But you can injure yourself by doing that, because lifting weights, if you are lifting weights and you're in a, you're too fatigued and you lose your technique, you can injure yourself. So I wouldn't start off doing that. But somebody who's more advanced and good shape, you can pre-fatigue your muscles before you lift weights. Sometimes it's not ideal, because it's not always ideal, because if you pre-fatigue yourself before you lift weights, what that's going to do is going to train your muscular endurance, right? Which is good. But it will not increase your muscular strength. If you want to increase your power, your muscular strength, explosiveness, you need to be doing those things first, okay? And not in a pre-fatigue state, okay? You want to do it in a well-rested state. And you want to go 100%, okay? And that's how you get, and then you want to rest to full recovery and go again. And that's how you get strength and power gains. If you're trying to get, muscular endurance gains, then you can do the more strenuous thing first, and the less strenuous thing, or you could do it the other way around and pre-fatigue yourself before you do the strenuous thing. Either one of those things will train your muscular endurance, okay? So hopefully that made sense. But for years, it's time consuming, because, I'm busy, got stuff to do, and but there were many, many years of my life where I would go to an Afro-Caribbean dance conference, okay? And maybe all day long. I remember years ago going to this Afro-Cuban dance conference in Miami. It was 3 days of all kinds of Afro-Cuban dance. When I say Afro-Cuban, there's a lot of different things under that umbrella of Afro-Cuban. And a lot of it can be very strenuous. And I'm not talking about salsa, okay? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Afro-Cuban folklore, okay? The Orisha dances, the Aboka dances, the dances from the Congo and stuff. You have Haitian Afro-Cuban dances. I remember being in Cuba back in 2018 in Santiago, studying rare Haitian Afro-Cuban dances. These are dances that are not done in Haiti. They came from the Haitians that went to Cuba, but it's distinctly different than what they do in Haiti. And it's different than what they do in Cuba. And these dances these are warrior dances, okay? Haitians came to Cuba with that fire, okay? And so these dances are fire. I could have my hair all braided up and it's all out from how much I'm rocking my head and stuff. And that's the thing, your neck is involved, everything, right? And it was hot as hell in Cuba. And I remember going to, dancing for a couple of hours in a row in extreme heat, okay? Challenging yourself in those ways. That's important. You can't be doing the same thing all the time. I go to the gym 4 times a week and that's enough. It's not, okay? You want to stack things. You want to incorporate strenuous activity into your everyday life. You really have to try hard to do that in America, because this is a very drive everywhere type of country, okay? Unless you're in New York City or a few walkable places, which is one of the reasons why I chose Chicago, because I like a walkable city. It drives me insane when I have to drive to do everything. Oh, we need some water, gotta get in the car. Oh, we need this, gotta get in the car. Gotta get in the car, gotta get in. And I feel like my body's wasting away. I can't stand it, right? I need to walk. Need to walk sometime, just in my life, So, anyhow, I think I got my point across. That I highly recommend stacking exercises, and that you should try that. And if you have tried it, please let me know below. How do you do that? What exercises do you stack? Okay. But yeah, try it. I highly recommend it. That's what's going to help to keep you healthy and strong and as you age, and functional as you age. And that's really the goal. It's about being healthy and functional as we age, right? I don't have my glasses on. Oh, you walk everywhere in Colorado. That's good. You walk everywhere in Colorado, and there's mountains there. I love Colorado. Yeah, walking up those hills is I remember I lived in Pittsburgh. Oof, oh my God. I feel like I gained 2 inches of booty meat and thigh meat from walking up the hills in Pittsburgh. And I used to work at a school, and I was just walking up 2 blocks, just 2 blocks of a steep hill every day. And it was it's no joke. So yeah, Colorado, San Francisco, hilly places for sure. But I'm going to let you guys go. I think I got my point across. I just wanted to say that real quick. Stack exercises, push yourself, And when you're going to stack exercises, like if you're like, I'm gonna go play basketball, and then I'm going to go ride my bike with ride my bike. The key thing to that is to make sure you've eaten well, okay, and stay hydrated. So I sip on coconut water and watermelon juice. Those are the best things. I've done videos on hydration before, so I'm not going to get into that. But sipping that's really how you get through that, okay, is proper hydration. So you want to push yourself, do more strenuous things, but understand that nutrition and hydration is critical to those things, to being able to do those things successfully, get the results you want, being able to go hard day after day, okay, critical. So, yeah, I'm going to end this video here. I'm always available to work with clients one-on-one, from a distance or in person. I be in New York, I be in Chicago, and, I travel to other places, but those are the two main places I'm at. I be in DC a lot, but, I be in Florida, like, just wherever I am, I'm always available to train clients, but I also work with people from a distance, as well. So if you're ever interested in consultations or, questions or working with me, feel free to contact me. You can hit me here on Instagram. You can email me at thebodyscientist81@gmail.com. If you're on Instagram, be sure to follow me on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, be sure to follow me on Instagram, because I don't always post the same things in both places. And lately, I've had videos deleted off of YouTube, okay? I did a video about natural childbirth. It was a video about why ancestral methods of childbirth are best. That video I recorded in 2021. That video got deleted for medical misinformation. I did a video on natural immunity and why that was best, and that video was completely scientifically sound, because you guys who follow me see that I'm well researched, okay? I constantly read scientific studies, books written by scientists, reading the research, you know what I'm saying? So there was nothing medical misinformation in my video talking about natural immunity, because it is best. That video got taken down. Then I did a video titled, and these videos I think are still on Instagram. I did a video titled why it's vitally important to understand the chemistry of fats, okay? And it is, okay? And it's all biochemistry. I have a background in nutritional biochemistry. I was quoting the chairperson from the nutrition department at University of Maryland, my current school. And this woman was in her 90s. She was the chairperson of nutritional biochemistry. Quoting her, and YouTube took it down for medical misinformation. Okay? They don't want me to tell you that eating butter is good for you, and saturated fats, and don't be consuming canola oil. That was medical misinformation that got taken down. So it's super freaking annoying, right? Especially when I put work into doing these videos that I don't get paid for, because I don't, and then it gets taken down. So I'm going to start, I actually had an OnlyFans page for The Body Scientist, but I'm actually moving that to Patreon. And so I'm going to save a lot of my deeper health conversations for Patreon, because I'm not trying to have my YouTube page deleted because I said something that they deem medical misinformation. So this just goes to prove to you that you can find some good information on the internet. You can find some good information on YouTube, but the best information you're going to find is in the books. You have got to read books, okay? Because there's a lot of propaganda gets pushed on social media. Even with my page, there are people posting a bunch of nonsense, selling you a bunch of pills and supplements and waist trainers and stupid stuff, and they have 100,000 followers, because the algorithm likes to push the bullshit. You don't see me over here posting ads for nothing, okay? Because I will not endorse something just because they're paying me. If I don't believe in some shit, I'm not endorsing it, period. If I know this is toxic, I'm not endorsing it, period. But most people can be bought, okay? So you have to be careful where you're getting your information from, all right? But yeah, so I'll be on my Patreon page, people can put in requests for things they want to hear about. You can ask, certain questions about things, so it'll be interactive. And then I also have my subscriptions here on Instagram. My subscriptions, I do a lot of supermarket stuff, and I'm open to doing whatever, people have an interest for on my subscriptions. But it's a lot of education, a lot of showing certain things in the supermarket, explaining certain things about food, because a lot of people don't know how to analyze food. So I do a lot of that on my IG subscriptions. But all in all, follow me in both places, because you never know where I might get deleted, or, I don't always post the same things in every place. Oh, somebody said, can't lie, my wife and I have great sex because of you. Really? That's great to know. Thank you for telling me that. Can you tell me why? Is it because you guys are eating a better diet, or what is the reason for that? See, good sex is also an important part of health. You know, something that, because we live in this prudish country, a lot of people don't want to talk about that, or they downplay that. But there's a lot of, it's not just because, oh, it's fun and it feels good, but there's a lot of hormonal benefits, things that happen with our hormones. And I'll do a video about that. Maybe that'll be my next video. Maybe my next video will be about the hormonal effects of orgasm and sex. But it's really important for our mental health, our physical health, our spiritual health. Like, that's also very important. And you need to have a healthy body. You know, when their penis stops working, if a woman's vagina stops working, it's dried up and atrophied, and, you know, that's a sign of your overall health. You know what I'm saying? Oh, better diet and testosterone. That's great. Yeah, and testosterone is completely linked to what you're doing physically and your diet. You have to eat a lot of cholesterol. Okay? So, if your sexual organs aren't working, that takes away your quality of life. And some people spend decades on this planet and their sexual organs are not working. Okay? So, that is just as important, and it's not talked about enough when we talk about health. Sexual health is something as well that I'm hugely into and have done several videos on and been speaking about for many years. Okay, so all this stuff is intertwined. Okay, now I'm getting hungry. Okay, so I need to get off now. I'm going to go make my shake with my raw milk. I'm going to make a shake with raw milk. I'm going to put some frozen fruit. Okay, maybe I'll put some peaches, some frozen peaches, and which are low oxalate fruits, which is great. And then I'm either going to put a scoop of vanilla ice cream or a bunch of heavy cream, raw heavy cream, and an egg yolk. Okay, not the white, just the yolk. A lot of people are like, "Ugh, how can you eat raw eggs?" I can't eat raw eggs. Okay, like I can eat hollandaise sauce. I love some hollandaise sauce on eggs Benedict, but I like that eggs Benedict. I like the egg poached hard. So when I'm actually eating eggs, I like them to be cooked all the way. But egg yolks have very high quality protein that our body absorbs very easily. And it's the second best after the protein in milk. When I get my milk, it's raw milk. And I'm going to stop talking because I'm getting so hungry, my mouth is watering. And that's what I'm saying. I ate a burger before I went to sleep. This is like 1 in the morning. And I wake up and I'm starving. Because I've been doing a lot physically, and the more muscle you have, the more you have to eat to maintain that muscle. And then when you're doing strength-bearing activities that tear up your muscles, you have to eat. So I get ravenous when I'm working out, especially when I work my legs. I get ravenous. And I'm at that point now. So I'm going to go eat. I'm going to end this video here. I think you guys get the point. Follow me everywhere. Reach out if you want to work with me, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day, okay?